I'm WG. Reset for day 2 is in 5 hours, so let's do a little bit of a checklist of what I did do and what I didn't do and what I could have done to give you a bit of an idea of what's possible or where you could go and do something differently. So one of the most interesting things by far has to be the way you spend these policy points. So these policy points, for example, if you were to spend 30 tickets on a A-grade policy report, you make progress in the policy report and you also get 20 notes back should you pick a day 2 section. Overall, always picking the policy with the highest policy points is pretty much advised. So what you can do here is you have the choice of buying the sub-story for Renoa, which gives you free experience, which can help you get to a higher level. But you could also buy this policy report. And the reason why this policy report is important is due to this right here. So we have the 04 chapter Neo Digest. And as you can see, we are to a degree stuck, right? We are stuck in 2 ways. Number one, you can only get 4 policies a day. So at least that's the way it's currently seeming like. And that's why you need to buy a policy if you want to finish this quest off. I didn't go on enough incursions on day 1. I went on 3 today. On day 1, I only went on a single one, and the other ones I used to recover from stress. It is what it is. That just is going to be after reset. This is going to be after reset. Challenge Wailing Prodigy. Now, this is something interesting. So, the main goal here is obviously to reach level 30, right? If you reach level 30, then you unlock the next difficulty. That means every single bit of stamina you reinvest into the growth, combatants, partners, potential, memory fragments even is more valuable because you get better jobs, right? Everybody likes to get better jobs. There's even, for example, now the possibility to get cores of memories in this piece of gear and the like. So here we have the Wailing Prodigy. See, something that's kind of fun is the fact that this, I don't know where you use it. Like, I haven't found a single place in the game where you would use the Eye of Wailing Prodigy, because the Eye of Wailing Prodigy was, before this and during the limited playtest, a limit break material used to, for example, unlock basic card proficiency. But now it's nowhere to be found. It just doesn't exist, right? So I don't know what you want to do with this. And now you have 2 choices, right? Either you think you're going to get to level 30 and you play the fight on level 30, or you just do it and you just get the experience. I gotta be honest, the difference isn't going to be that big. So you either do it and you get the experience, or you wait a little bit until 30 and you do it and you get the experience later. You don't really lose anything out besides minor drop rewards and a resource we don't even know what it's used for at the moment. So that's the Wailing Prodigy, so I wouldn't really worry about it. You can just complete that one. This Affinity right here is also something that, let's talk about the ways you can raise Affinity, right? So the main ways you can raise Affinity are you buy gifts or you get gifts from different quests and the like, and you send them to your probably main carry, like for example mine is level 4, or you also spend time with them, go with them on incursions. So that's also something that's going to fix itself, I guess, once we get to reset. So this is something you shouldn't really be too worried about. You get it eventually, and then you'll also have the chance to work on the next chapter. So yeah, that's on that note there. So on the other hand, what else did I do? We still have pretty much the save data as before. I'm kind of waiting to hit level 30 so I can start farming a bit more on a higher difficulty, because it's gonna take quite a while to go from level 30 to level 40. So spending the time to farm for save data while you're level 30 just gives you a deck that probably is gonna hold a little longer than if you were to farm level 20 content and get a deck that way. I'm still very happy with this deck and the way it works. And then on the other hand, also potentially you've already seen, and now memory fragments. Let's talk a briefly bit about memory fragments. Let me give you a bit of an idea if you want to and what you want to do with those. So first off, the higher your level, the better the gear, the better the gear, the better the main stat, the better the gear, the better the substats. So gear that is green is worthless in comparison to gear that is blue. Gear that is blue is worthless in comparison to gear that is orange. Orange seems to be the highest rarity that you unlock at a higher level. Now, what I did here is upgrade these pieces to see if it was truly useful. And in my opinion, you should only spend your resources on exactly 2 things. Number 1, getting a set for whatever your main DPS is. We'll talk about sets in a second. And number 2, in upgrading pieces that either have attack percent as a main stat, as I did here twice. You can see it 8.4% and then 14%. And then also you could upgrade the attack flat pieces, but that's just, it's not as useful, right? So you kind of want to stay away from these, you kind of want to stay away from that. Another thing that's also possible is if you have, for example, order damage, right? If you have order damage or like whatever your main DPS's damage type is, you can obviously also upgrade that. It's going to work out as well. So yeah, my gear stats really aren't that great at the moment. We have like 1.8% crit chance, 2.8% crit damage, but we have a big focus on attack. You can see it's plus around 50% even. And that's because attack, at the end of the day, is the main stat from which your card damage and everything else is based upon. So that's why we upgraded it here. So now let's talk a bit about sets and which kind of pieces you should be looking for. As we already briefly mentioned, you shouldn't really be farming anything else for anybody outside of maybe a DPS. And also, if you're in a time crunch, playing gear dungeons, or this gear dungeon is actually faster because you spend 60 stamina on a 1-phase fight versus 60 stamina on a 3-phase fight where you have to beat 3 waves. But yeah, okay, let's briefly talk about set effects. So this one is going to be more relevant later game, right? So think about a bunch of people that play 1-cost cards. So for example, Rin, for example, Renoa, even Charon, though Charon has his own set, I guess you could say. This one is only going to be relevant when you have proper crit rate. If you don't have any crit rate, having higher crit damage is kind of useless. Then here, this Healer's Journey set gives you max HP. Something that's interesting is this set is called Healer's Journey, but healing is based on defense instead of health. So the only thing that gives you is allow you to take a couple more hits in Chaos. It's decent, you can put it on a support if you feel like it. Now, this set works on pretty much 2 characters. It's going to be Owen and it's going to be Haru. If you want to maximize your Haru, you can go for the Line of Justice, for the 4-piece. And this Tetros Authority, if you want to increase the healing of someone like, let's say, a Mika, you can go for Tetros Authority with the increased defense, which increases healing. This one is straight up going to be Luke's, right? Bullet of Order set, but you can also try it out on someone like a Hugo. This one right here increases damage related to targets inflicted with agony. Either works on someone like a Hugo if you're running alongside someone like a Tressa. So either you have gear that, so equipment that provides you the agony through effects, or you run someone like a Tressa who's really good at inflicting agony, and then you can run this set on these units. Then this one right here is when a card is exhausted, is exactly perfect for Tressa and for Charon, because those are void and those meet the criteria. It could also work on Renoa, though for Renoa you don't exhaust the extra bullets, right? The extra bullets she creates, the dodge bullets, you don't exhaust those as much. Then later after that we have the Blackwing set. This is one of my favorites, and this is a set you can pretty much run on any DPS. Perfect 2-piece set, attack percent increase, increases the damage of your cards, you can't ask for more, especially because currently our crit rate is in the gutter. So this one really nice if you want to spend some stamina somewhere, just get yourself a 2-piece of the Blackwing set, slap it on your main DPS. This one, if hand has 4 or more cards plus 15% instinct card damage, can work either on Orleia or on Khalib, but it's not too much of a priority, though it could be kind of fun on Khalib at least. And Orleia, it depends on if you play the damage card at 0 based on hand size, or if you play around with the slimes. Then this one is just straight up nice, right? Increases the damage, shield and healing of basic cards. So if you're looking for like a double 2-set combo, run the attack, run the basic cards. Someone that it's particularly good on has to be Malin. Malin has the ability to create and also give herself more basic cards, allowing you to overall play more basic cards. So yeah, that's kind of what you want to do there. And then we have the corpses and tools. I think that's the last set. When using an upgraded card, the next 5 cards used get passion card damage. So works on pretty much any of the passion units, right? Think Selena, think Malin and the like, as well as also right here Executioner's tool set. This one, it's kind of pointless unless we have 100% crit rate. So I think this was my day 2 recap, and as always we see each other in the next one. Peace.